guys, welcome back. I'm going to start working on the pole position metal parts. I want to get this overlay off of this control panel. It's too bad it's in good shape other than the front edge is all peeling off right here, so we're going to have to replace this. Hoping a razor blade will get a lot of it off. See here. Probably going to start working on, might start working on the, wow, it's actually coming off pretty easy. It's not too sticky, a little bit. I want to start working on the plastic shroud that goes around the steering. Start getting those cigarette burns fixed in that. Yeah, it's a little sticky. We're gonna have to get that sticky residue off of there, which that sometimes can be a pain in the butt. All right, let me go grab some, I'm actually think I'm gonna try some, I don't know if I have mineral spirits or paint thinner rather than lacquer thinner. I'm gonna pour some of that on there and see if that might work a little bit better than, the lacquer thinner will work, but it doesn't seem to work as good. Brake cleaner works really good, but I forgot to pick up a can, so let me go see what I have. Okay, I have some mineral spirits. We're gonna try that. Just curious. I've been trying different ways to get this stickiness off of these panels because it just seems like it happens all the time. So I have some mineral spirits right here. I'm going to soak these paper towels in it. The reason why I put paper towels on here is to hopefully keep it from running all of it onto the floor. Hopefully it'll keep it saturated a little bit longer to try to loosen up that adhesive. So I'm gonna let that sit for, I don't know, maybe I'll wait like 10 minutes and we'll come back and see if that adhesive scrapes off at all. I'm gonna stick some saran wrap over it just to let it set for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just to see if it'll loosen up that glue, and I'm hoping it will. This is kind of like the same concept for when you take off paint on the side of your cabinet and you don't want to damage what's underneath it. And by putting the saran wrap on it, it keeps it from evaporating as quickly. I love how they say that this stuff is odorless, but you can still smell it. Don't really understand how that works. All right, I'll be back shortly. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes or so. Let's see if we get anywhere here. Well, the paper towel's sticking to it. Sweet. That makes life a lot easier. So the mineral spirits with the paper towel with saran wrap over top might be my new go-to method here. And I just thought of trying it. I don't think I've seen anybody try to do this. It all started last week when I tried the brake cleaner, and that worked pretty good. But this might even work better, and it's probably cheaper. It definitely, paper towel really sticks to it. Feels good. Good thing is I didn't really want to strip this paint down if I didn't have to because it's in such good shape. I was hoping to just sand it down with like some 180 grit. But we'll see how that turns out. Still got to do this front edge. Okay, let me get this front edge soaked and scraped down, and then we'll come back and we'll sand this with some 180. Maybe I'll get a another paper towel and I'll kind of wipe this down real quick. Actually, I'll probably use one of these rather than wasting it. Still a little bit of sticky at the top here, but it got off a ton of it. A little bit right there. So maybe let it sit 20 minutes maybe. Might be the better bet. Okay, I'm gonna get this front edge done and then I'll be back. Okay, I have to say that took off probably at least 90% of the glue. It's no longer sticky to the touch. There's a little bit of residue here and there, but I mean, for the most part, it's gone. I'm gonna try some 180 grit on my sander now, and I wanna see if we could just sand this up and smooth it out. of this foam tape up here. It's all old and beat up. Okay, other than blowing it off and wiping it down, that's ready for paint. I always use that Krylon all-in-one, that 5X paint. So basically, once I blow this off, wax and grease remove it, that's ready to be painted. There's no body work needed, there's no dents in it or anything like that. It's got a slight bow to it, but that's fine. Once it gets bolted back in the cabinet and the steering wheel and everything's back on it, it'll be just fine. I'm extremely happy with that method. Way faster. I didn't dig into the metal. I didn't make real deep scratches or anything that I need to do body work on. So I think that was a win for sure. So I'm gonna put this off to the side. I'm gonna go grab that dashboard piece. Okay, here's the dashboard piece. I'm gonna tape this artwork off. This is in really good shape. There's nothing wrong with it. No point in wasting $30 on it. I could tape it off right around the edges, and when I repaint this, I'll just untape it afterwards. So here's our cigarette burns. Believe it or not, this is probably one of the best pole position dashboards I've ever seen as far as not having a ton of cigarette burns on it. So basically, what I need to do, I need to sand those down because they're raised right now. There's just like a bunch of blisters. So we need to get those smoothed back out. And then once we do that, we're gonna have to take some body filler and put some body filler in here to smooth this all out. We want this to be a nice smooth area right here. And then we'll take that textured chip guard. We're not gonna use the textured paint on this. We're gonna use the textured chip guard, which I'll show you that. And we'll put that on first, and then we'll go over top with that 5X Krylon paint. So let's see if I can't work on knocking these down. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to use a DA sander. I might have to, I almost wonder if I use my deburring tool. Let me go grab that. I wonder if that would knock those down faster. Rather than me spending 30 minutes trying to sand it down, let me see if that tool will work. This is what it looks like. And what it is for deburring metal. So if you drill a hole or if you cut some metal and you have a bunch of rough edges, this will smooth it out for you. You know, I probably should get some safety glasses. Let me grab those. think we got those pretty flat. Okay, let me go grab some sandpaper. Get a couple little spots here. Got some 80s right here. Okay, I'm gonna blow this off and get some of that dolphin glaze that I've been using. We're gonna mix up some. I'm gonna take my finger in here. I'm gonna run it real nice bead along all the way down. And I'm gonna take my Bondo spreader and spread this smooth right here and these couple right here. And then we'll sand it down. And then at that point, if everything looks good, I'll take a little bit of spray can primer and spray it on here just so that it can absorb into the body filler. And then after that, when I get ready to paint these other parts, this can just get lightly sanded down and it'll be ready to paint. You could buy a new one of these. I think they're $120. And if you have one that's not cracked up and you only have cigarette burns to deal with, I would fix it. Why waste $120? Plus, I like to try to keep as many of the original parts that came on the cabinet as I can. I'm not going to do the coin doors on the pole position today because I have my coin doors all torn apart over there for the Paperboy, and I don't want to get them confused. I don't want to switch parts from one cabinet to the other. I just like to keep what came on the cabinet on that cabinet if possible. So let me get this blown off and get some icing or glazing putty mixed up. All right, let's get this mixed up. I did put a glove on so that I could smooth this out and not get a bunch of this stuff underneath my fingernail and then have to deal with that for the next couple days. Remember guys, don't stir your body filler. Stirring it creates air bubbles. After I put this coat of filler on, while it's drying, I'm going to work on the gas pedal. Get that going. And then maybe we'll do the marquee brackets. I have my marquee brackets over there, but I know which ones are mine because I made my top marquee bracket. So I know that that one is mine. Yeah, I don't know why I get like that. It's just, I just think it's kind of cool to keep all the parts together as long as you can. It's like they were born with those parts on the cabinet. Why not leave them there, you know? And I did just put Bondo glazing putty, whatever you want to call it, into that hole right there. So I'll have to re-drill that out, which not a big deal. It's gonna happen. Okay, now we need to get some in here. Oh, I missed those over there. How the heck did they even burn it over there? I'll have to just do that in a minute. So you can see right here, see how I'm making a nice straight line? Don't worry about your holes. Re-drill those afterwards. What I'm trying to do is just get this coated. The smoother I run my finger across this, the easier it's going to be to sand afterwards. Wonder if I have enough time and enough filler to get this little spot. Don't have my glasses on, but I'll be careful. Okay, get this cleaned up and we'll move on to the next thing while this one dries for a little bit. Okay, let's work on this gas pedal here. Need to take off these two nuts. Should have I'll have to clean these carriage bolts and paint them afterwards. I forgot I had them on there. Now, I don't know that I want to take the gas pedal off or not yet. Actually, yes, I can. I can leave it together in one assembly. When I got my game, my gas pedal wouldn't work right. And I remember specifically that there was, I try not to get Bondo on me and then I get it on the hand, I don't put the glove on. I remembered that the cable was broken or something was wrong with it, and there is a certain way that you have to wind this cable for the gas pedal to work. But it looks like if I just take out these 4 nuts here, I can drop the whole mechanism out and leave this spring and everything attached, which will be nice. I don't really want to get into that again because I think it took me a little bit of time to get it in the right spot. But I'm sure this one, I think maybe my cable was missing completely and I took it off of something else. But I'm sure if I took this one apart, if I had to, there's probably a kink in that cable and let you know which way it goes. I think what I was having a hang up with was which direction the cable went around the pulley. Because like I said, I don't think it was on there. I think it was loose or something. It was something weird and I just know it took me a while to figure out. Okay, so let's try just taking those out and dropping the whole pedal out. And we could just tape these off. I could respray these springs black. Probably won't really sand them or anything. Maybe just wipe them down real good. It looks like the rust is pretty much wiping off on my fingers just by rubbing on it. I'm gonna say those are probably 3/8, maybe 11/32. Feels like a 3/8. I'm gonna put new grip tape on the pedal. I should have some in the basement because I bought a roll off of Amazon. It's like just grip tape for like skateboards or like a staircase. And we'll put a new piece on this pedal because it's obviously half missing. Somebody sells them. I don't know if they were on eBay or something else. I remember years ago when I was doing mine, someone actually sold pieces that were already cut to the size of the pedal. But I had bought a whole roll for like real cheap. It was cheaper for me to buy the roll and have extra than to just order one that was pre-cut to the size. The one with the ground wire has a washer underneath it with the teeth in it, so it grabs onto the metal a little bit better. Got a zip tie right there I need to cut without cutting the wire. And if I break off this, I have more of these zip tie holders. Beautiful. We're just gonna sand this down with 180 and it'll be ready for paint. Look at all that hair lint. It's nice. I'll just sand both sides of that 180 and that'll be ready. This is obviously missing most of its sandpaper. That's what I call it. It reminds me of sandpaper. For right now, these nuts and bolts from this pedal assembly, I'm gonna leave inside of this socket set because I know that's where those go. I'll clean them up later. So let's, I'm gonna grab a razor blade and see if I can't scrape that off of there. I'm gonna grab that. This is where a lot of time comes in, and doing this kind of stuff in the end makes everything overall look a million times better. If you skimp out on stuff like this and you do a half-assed job on it, it's not going to look as good. But if you do a really good job on all these little individual parts, once everything goes back together as a unit, it'll look really, really good. Looks like they just stuck it right over bare metal. And of course it's sticky underneath, but hopefully we can just sand that stickiness off. There's not a lot of this left. How come new stuff won't stick like this? Jeez. Sticks to my dusty hand. Let's just get right into sanding this. I have that old piece of 180 on the sander still. See if that does anything. If not, we'll have to possibly go down to 80 grit. It's all sticker residue right there. Okay, I'm gonna go grab a new piece of sandpaper. See if this will take it off now. I'm not using my vacuum today because I'm not doing anything that dusty. I'll have to get under here and clean off a little bit of that crustiness around here and stuff. I'll probably just use, actually, let's go over there and see if this will work. I don't want to rip the wires off of here, so I got to be a little careful. I do have my mask on, but I'm going to put on the goggles. I always keep a pair of goggles in here, or safety glasses. These things love to spit off of this thing. I've had them stick in my face, my arms, so I don't need one stuck in my eyeball. So if you're using something like this, even one on a drill, make sure you wear glasses, because that would not be a fun day having one of them in your eye. Let's see if we can lightly clean up that rust. If you plug it in, it works better. There we go. You can see how that's cleaning it up. I'll do the rest of this off the camera because it's going to be kind of boring watching me wire wheel this stuff. But then after that, this is ready for paint too. So as you can see, this is not taking very long to get this stuff ready for paint. Just get at it, get it done, and you can move on. I'm just going to let that sit there for now. I'll finish that afterwards because I know that's only going to take a couple more minutes. Let's move on to this base plate here for the gas pedal. Probably going to need a new piece of sandpaper soon. Somebody had repainted this. There's a light surface rust underneath this paint. I'm not starting and stopping the camera a lot today because I want you guys to see how quickly this stuff really can go. So I've been trying to just let it run today a little bit longer rather than saying, hey, I'll be back in a few minutes to after I finish sanding it. Just so you guys get an idea about how long it takes to clean a part like this. Okay, let's go back over to the wire wheel for a minute. This is all done. That's all ready for paint. This lip looks like crap. It's got some rust in there. That 180 grit is not going to take the rust out, but this will. Okay, see how much cleaner that is now? It's always a good idea too. Sand that after you wire wheel it, because the wire wheel really leaves the metal really smooth, and it doesn't give your paint much to stick to. So there we go. Another part ready for paint. Just needs cleaned off and it's ready to go. I have the marquee brackets right here and the lower bracket that goes between, I believe that goes on the top of the dashboard to the glass, if I remember correctly. And then we have this one lower speaker grill. And if you see how it's all dented in, see how bad that is? I want to see if I can tap this out. My little vise here. See if I can lightly tap this out so that we can reuse it, as I don't have another one. It's kind of like, so what I'm going to try to do is lift one end up a little bit and try to tap it. I'm not hitting it super hard or anything, just enough to hopefully make this metal move. Now it's sticking outwards. Just pop back in. I don't know that we're going to be able to do a ton with this. That's getting better. Got a dent right here. I got the dent pretty much out, but it's caved in. I don't want to make a new one if I don't have to. I want to try to use this. Worst case scenario, I can take the one off underneath the marquee and put this one up there, and then take that one and put it down below, but just see what we can do. Don't really know how I'm gonna get rid of this. Maybe if I heat it, that might help. I'm feeling for any more little dents that might causing that. Go grab my torch, see if we can't do anything with that. Ooh, it's hot even through the glove. We almost got it. Basically what I'm doing here is I am shrinking the metal. By heating it, I am shrinking it. So we have almost got it. Got a little bit of a bow right there. I wonder if I can concentrate the heat right there, if I can pucker it up in the center here. Well, it went the other way, but it should start going down, I think, or it's gonna get worse. Might have to do it the other direction. Pretty happy with that. It's not too far off. A little bit of a belly right there. Right there. We have a little weird thing going on there. Try a little bit more heat, but you see how I've straightened that out almost perfectly. We're just trying to fine tune it a little bit. Okay, this corner dipped down on me a little bit, so I need to bring that back up. And I think we might have it. Come on, go down. Okay, let me stick it on the floor here. Come on. I am happy with that. That looks really, really good. Hard to take a picture of it or show it on video, but I'm happy with that. Let's take some 180 grit on the DA sander. We're going to sand that down just to get off all the burnt paint. And then this will be ready to get painted as well. Can't tell if there's one more little lump. No, I think it's good. See how it's nice and flat now? So basically, you could just sit there with the heat and manipulate the metal into whatever shape you want to put it in if you're patient, and you just move the flame around and watch what the metal's doing. I'm gonna go over to the wire wheel real quick. There it is, guys. Wire wheeled, pretty flat. Once it gets riveted on the cabinet, should look real good. So we're done with this. Now I'm gonna scuff up these parts. One other thing before I do that, if you look here, no more popping back and forth. It's nice and solid now because we shrank that metal with the heat. Okay, these parts, once again, are in extremely good shape. So it's all I want to do with these things is take this red Scotch-Brite pad, and it's all I'm looking to do is scuff these up so that my spray paint will stick to it. See how it's turning that gray color? That's all scuffed up. Paint will stick to that. We don't have to worry about it. Yeah, this game is a little confusing to me. It's definitely spent its life somewhere where it definitely did not get abused. Definitely in a lot nicer shape than you would think. And this texture on these parts, we're going to use that textured paint. After this, we're going to go back onto that dashboard, and then I think I'll end this video because I got just about everything done. And also the coin doors are in really good shape, so we'll probably just use a red Scotch-Brite on them as well. I don't see why not. None of this stuff's rusty. No point in taking it down to bare metal if you don't have to. But just make sure you roughen it up so that your new paint sticks to it and it doesn't flake off because you didn't sand it or anything. Okay, we'll grab the dashboard and we'll get back onto that. 80 grit by hand to get in here. And you can see that we are getting it smoothed out pretty nicely. This I am going to turn the camera off on because this might take me 20-30 minutes to get it sanded down. Okay, it's sanded down. Looks pretty good. I'm happy with that, the way that looks. We're going to spray a little primer on here. I'm not going to get it on that side. I'm just going to concentrate over here. I'm using a 1K filler primer in a spray can. This is what the product is. You can order it from Summit Racing. This is like the type of primer I use for like, we call them used car lot work, where you go in and you fix a little dent or a scratch on a bumper or a fender, and you got a little primer you got to do first. You hit it with this stuff. This stuff dries pretty quick. It's a little expensive. This is probably $25, $30 a can, but you don't use a lot of it, so it lasts a long time. So we're just going to lightly put a couple coats on here. The only reason why I'm putting this on here is because I want that body filler to absorb this stuff rather than my paint. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry for a couple minutes, and I'm gonna put one more coat on, come back, show it to you, and then that'll end this video. On the next video, when we work on these parts again, I'll plan on painting the shroud, the control panel, marquee brackets, the pedal, the coin door and all that stuff, because the coin door just needs to be hit down with the red Scotch-Brite pad. So basically, the next video that we work on these parts, which maybe be the next video, maybe we'll just get these parts all painted and put in the back room off to the side, so that once the cabinet is painted, we can just start putting it right back together. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll end this video once I put one more coat of primer on, and then the next video we'll get all this loose stuff painted, and then we're ready to paint the cabinet at that point. It'll give the cabinet a couple more days to dry, and then at that point get the cabinet painted, put the artwork on it, and start putting it back together. So give me a couple minutes, I'm gonna put another coat on here, and then I'll be back. Okay, primer's still wet, but you can see everything is smooth now. And if you have any little imperfections, like there's a tiny little pinhole here and there, don't worry about it. You're gonna sand this primer down, which is gonna get rid of most of it, and then you're putting a texture over it. So once you texture this, it's gonna look perfect. So we're gonna let that dry now, and that's gonna end this video. I believe this is part 5 maybe of pole position. I gotta look it up. Other than that, I hope you guys are liking what you're seeing. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask. I have no problem answering anything somebody has to ask. I'll do my best to try to help everybody out. So please like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, share. I'd really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later.